Okay, good evening, future Year 12 parents and students. This is a recording of the induction evening that occurred last week at Aston University Sixth Form to welcome you as start of your process transition into joining us here in September. And for those, I know there was a lot of proms and stuff going on, and hope you had a fantastic time who weren't able to join us. Myself and Cathy Bedney, who's the assistant principal for Sixth Form, is here today to go through our presentation for you. Or maybe you did come to us and you loved us that much, you want to hear it again, or maybe you forgot something from the evening, and therefore, hopefully this will be really useful to you. So we'll get started with the presentation. I hope you can see that. I'm going to apologise first if I'm looking very red-faced and hot. We're sat here in 30 degrees in the heat wave, but bear with us and we'll work our way through tonight. So since I last saw you, we've had the Ofsted come in, and I think when I last spoke to you at the open evening, I talked about what we were expecting of Ofsted because we knew very clearly what we were seeking, and we were delighted that Ofsted absolutely recognised that. They were blown away by their time here over their 2 days and absolutely loved it. And specifically the investment that we do in your child, in you as a Year 12 student arriving into the Sixth Form. How do we make that difference? How do we make you stand out? How do we make you be different through that personal development? And that's recognised and was evidenced as the students were leaving. In fact, the inspectors spent about 45 minutes with alumni from all across the UK and even across the world, of chemical engineers now in Dubai and other places, ex-AUEA students coming back and saying, this is how attending Aston University Sixth Form has changed my life. And part of that is getting involved in all those enrichment programs and working through and developing those wider skills. And I know, as Miss Bedney will say to you the whole way through, is what makes you different? What are you doing? I'll remind you, we are strict here, and also the parents reassure you that we are absolutely a school-based sixth form. In fact, we're now one of the largest school-based sixth forms across the whole of the Midlands, and we fundamentally maintain that relationship between parents, students, and the school. Okay, we're not like a college where you go there and you don't hear anything and the relationship is more between that and the student. We are definitely that sixth form, but yet that doesn't mean that we treat you like a baby or a young child. We do have that core relationship with you and we treat you as a young adult, but more importantly, we're going to put that support mechanism and make sure we can be an advocate and a support with you and your parents as you move over the next 2 years as well. So it's absolutely important that you have those opportunities. We're delighted to see that not only our CCF is doing phenomenally well and grown, but just this week it's now been announced we've now got tri-services with the Royal Navy joining us as well, and the opportunity to join the Royal Navy Cadets. And we've already now got the Army in terms of the Royal College of Nursing Cadets as well, for those looking to go into medicine and health related services. Now, we hit this point at 10 years, and this was a slide that I put up on the open evening and talk about what did we set about to achieve all those years ago when myself and Miss Bedney started back in 2011, 2012, when we talk about AUEA being a car park and that time and that development. But this slide, in terms of meeting the need of where those young engineers and scientists and business people are going, has really demonstrated and gone for fruition as we've hit that 10-year point. And as part of the 10-year project, I'm delighted that I've been working very closely through LinkedIn with a lot of alumni and to share this very latest data. And this is all of the companies where AUEA students not only are working, but actually now it makes me feel very old. I'm sure Miss Bedney and others would say I am old, but actually more importantly, this is where our students are leading in their roles. We've got project managers, middle leaders, moving towards senior leadership. Very scary, but we've even got AUEA students now leaving us and graduating and working for managers who themselves attended AUEA as part of that specialist technical and science and business facilities and knowledge and skills that we provide. And you can see there a huge amount of wealth in terms of developing in terms of automotive, aerospace, infrastructure, business, NHS and into medical. And actually I was really taken aback by the huge breadth of provision that we've got in pretty much every single major and local small SMEs as well involved with infrastructure, and the UK and smart cities really developing through that. We've got some on there, so really delighted to see that AUEA graduates really do support engineering Britain's infrastructure and smart cities of the future. Something else that's happened since I last spoke to you was the release of only one of 9 institutions actually regionally to get the post-16 capacity fund of £5 million to go towards our new build, which will be happening whilst you're here as part of your Year 12, which is really exciting because the provision is not only there for the sixth form, but the actual classrooms, especially our engineering workshops and you'll see lecture theatre, has been designed for work towards year 13. So this has been really put in place for your year 13 as well. So you may recognise the front of the school, which is normally open air at this point, and we build across that. But to give you a little bit of perspective, that's what our building looks like now. As you come down Lister Street, you'll recognise that walking on the ramp as we know it. And that's what it's going to look like as we move through into next year, over the next 6 months as we start the building on the extension. And as mentioned inside, we've got a new lecture theatre. We've got a brand new post-16 dining area and outside cafe area. We've got a new workshop, which will be a new Festo workshop, bringing together all our Festo equipment, some additional stuff coming in. That's really predominantly going to be a new post-16 and a year 13 provision, so ready for you. Second floor is going to have additional post-16 study areas and again the top of the lecture theatre, so you'll be able to have those lectures in those larger classes just like you have at university, as well as your lessons in your small classes and your practical application. Top floor sees some digital and cyber based skills, as well as our wider classrooms, and with those wider classrooms are also provisions as part of our T levels of what we're doing elsewhere in the school linked to that as well. So lots of exciting things happening, and I think for me the most exciting part probably is the roof space, where we're looking at our post-16 well-being garden, as well as a really exciting time. And certainly sitting here in 30 degrees in a warm classroom, I know this is going to be a very exciting area for students and staff to work. So at this point, I'm going to hand over to Miss Bedney, who's going to pick up the conversation around the handbook. And while she's just loading the screen and going forward, I'm just going to leave that slide on the screen, which is a really important one, which is the QR code to get to our handbook. And at that point, I'll turn myself off and hand over to Miss Bedney.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Cathy Bedney, as Mr. Locke-Wheaton said, and I'm the Assistant Principal of the Sixth Form. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go through a few bits of key information that you might not already know, and then Mr. Locke-Wheaton will then pick up the all-important enrolment process for you guys in the summer. If you haven't already done so, please check out our website. That is where you'll see also find an electronic version of our handbook, along with all other important information like curriculum and contact information as well. So please head to auea.co.uk. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on these slides, okay, as you may have already heard about this during one of our open evenings, but a day of a sixth form student will vary depending on what course they are on, okay, but period 1 for sixth form students will start at 8:40, and then they will have a lesson all the way up till 3:40 in the afternoon. They do have independent study built into their timetable, which actually proves really important for their progress. As they are in sixth form, they do get opportunities to potentially go off site or have a later start if their lessons don't start until the afternoon. However, that time is also given to them to do their independent study. So that could be classwork tasks, it could be homework, or it could be revision. So students do really start learning how to manage their time, and the students who do that well, they do make good progress here. These are some key important dates going into next year, so holiday and term times, and some induction and teacher training days as well. So again, if you want to look at that in more detail, please head to our website, and that is also in our handbook, so for you to just look at that at future reference. So throughout COVID, one of the things that we really improved our process in is our communication. We were able to have the time to communicate with our parents in, more regularly and more detail. So that's something that we've now brought into our everyday working. Now we are back in school as normal. So we've invested in a system in Teams, and every single member of staff now have their own personal email address, as well as a direct phone number as well. So again, in the handbook on the website, you have got information here to contact the teachers or the tutor of your child, just to make sure that we call it the triangle of communication. So the communication triangle is between ourselves, parents, as well as the student, which really does help in supporting students throughout their process and their journey here. This is the AUEA leadership team within the school, so headed up by Neil Scott, who is based at Aston University as the Chair of Governors. Then obviously you've got Mr. Locke-Wheaton, who's already introduced himself as principal. Come September, Mr. Locke-Wheaton is an incredibly busy man, and he's also heading up the project to build a new maths school within Birmingham, who will also be linked to us as well. So therefore, in his absence while he's heading that project up, Mr. Chapman, who was actually vice principal at the moment, will become associate principal. So that's just important information for you to know about come September. And then myself, as well as two other colleagues of mine, we are the assistant principals here at the school, and we all have different responsibilities. Regards to the sixth form team, we have a pastoral team here ready to support your child. So Mrs. Carlin, who just this lady here, she will be the year 12 college leader. So that will be the first port of call, as well as your tutor that you'll be given if you've got any information or any concerns or any questions that you want to ask. Miss Plange also works directly with Mrs. Carlin, but Miss Plange is focused more on our year 13s that will be going through into September, but they do work as a team, so you can speak to either of them regarding any sixth form issues. Mrs. Jacob there on the bottom left, she is our Senko of the school, and it's really important that if your child has any special educational needs or anything that we need to know about, it's important that we know that from day one, just so we can put in the right intervention and the right support in place as soon as you arrive. You will be put into a college, so we call them colleges here. Many schools call them houses, and we have Hounsfield, Lanchester, Shilling and Whittle. You'll be put in one of those colleges when you enrol with us. It's really important that you remember that college and you remember your tutor group, because when you are being inducted in September, there'll be certain times that certain colleges will have to arrive. So for example, Hounsfield might have day 1 in the morning, compared to maybe Whittle might have the afternoon slot. So it's really important that you do remember what college that you get put into. This is a reminder of our business dress. Our school supplier is Clive Mark, but as a sixth form student, you are able to get your suit from any high street shop, as long as it is a dark grey, charcoal grey suit. You will have to have a sixth form tie. This tie here is not actually the sixth form tie, that's the lower school tie, but you can purchase the tie from us when you are inducted in September, which I believe costs about £8. So you can bring your money and you can buy your tie at that point. There is a discount at the moment from Clive Mark. They are offering 15% off, and that's in store or online. This information will also be emailed to you, because there is a code that you do need to state as you are putting your order in. So please use that if that is where you want to get your suit from. This is an example of the female suit. Okay, again, it is a similar dark grey charcoal colour, but girls do have an option whether to wear a tie or not. So all male students will wear the sixth form tie. Female students, it is optional. However, many of our students do opt to wear the tie as well. In terms of business shoes, that is something that we are very strict on. We are strict regarding our standards across the school and across the sixth form. So please make sure that you do purchase a good pair of business shoes. Last time I checked, I don't think Nike produce business shoes. So please do not buy any that's got a Nike tick on them. Otherwise, we will be asking you to purchase a different pair of shoes. So just bear that in mind when you are going out shopping for your uniform. At Aston University Sixth Form, we have really high expectations across the school in terms of behaviour, attendance and progress. And what I expect all students to be is, when they come into the school, they are in the green boxes that you can see on the top left of the screen. So they have positive behaviour and they've got good attendance at 95% or above. And I expect them to maintain that throughout their sixth form journey. However, like Mr. Locke-Wheaton and myself has already mentioned, we are very much a school, and we do have procedures in place if things and standards were starting to drop. So therefore intervention is put in place, and that's where that parent communication is really important. That's where we have parent meetings, have teacher meetings, and reports are put in place to make sure that those students are actually guided back on track so they are able to progress. I'm now going to pass back over to Mr. Locke-Wheaton, who's going to continue with the enrolment information.
Okay, so what we've got going on, obviously, as you're aware, is in the Thursday, the 25th of August, is your results day. What an exciting point, and I'm sure having been through, can I just say congratulations to you, because this year, especially post-COVID, has seen the longest exam period that's ever existed, especially for GCSE students. So that's a phenomenal amount of work you've done over a sustained period of time. So well done. And I'm sure you're looking forward to getting your results, maybe a little bit of nervousness about that. But the first day is about you going into school, getting up. I'd encourage you to go early and getting your results from your school. Now, in previous years, at that point, we used to do it became really much a first come, first serve process. On the Thursday afternoon, we listen to parental feedback, and we've also got our oversubscription in place because, again, I'd say congratulations that you've got a place been offered to you at this stage from AUEA, because we've had over 1,000 applications, and so well done for getting that offer. So what's going to happen is this: on results day in the morning by 8 o'clock, so 8 o'clock on the 25th of August, you will receive from AUEA a data capture form. And this is specifically around your GCSE results. I'm going to show you. So this is the first part of it. So the first bit is to put your details in. There's a little bit more than the boxes I'm showing you there. So your name, your date of birth, your email, etc. So we know who you are. Following that, there's the position for you to mark down the scores that you've got inside your GCSE results and your vocational results as well. So it captures both of those. And then more importantly, it goes on to talk about which one of the pathways do you wish to be considered for. And this means that you're going to submit this, and you've got until 2 o'clock to submit this form. So that's quite a long time. Bear in mind, you can get your results from 9 o'clock in the morning. Complete this, should take you about 10 minutes or so to do, and submit it. And then myself, Miss Bedney, and the rest of our team are going to be looking forward to receiving those at 2 o'clock, and we'll be processing them, going through our oversubscription criteria, and then inviting you to your enrolment from the Friday onwards. Again, that will be down to your subject choices, okay, and down to those grades that you get in those spaces. Now, what happens if I can't remember the subjects? I'm going to talk to you about them in a moment. And what happens if I'm not sure yet? Well, in that case, then you need to select more than one, and that will give us an idea that we need to invite you in or have a phone conversation to talk to you about it. So let's remind ourselves about what those pathways are. So our top route we've got on this side for academic is elite. That means that I'm wishing to do up to 4 A levels. Now, actually, ironically, we probably wouldn't encourage that for the vast majority of our students, because even to go to Oxford, Cambridge, medicine, etc., some of those top courses in the UK, they only require 3. But for some students, they may wish to do the 4 A levels. We have that as an option, and you can see the list there. But most importantly, you need to pay attention to the grades at the bottom. It really does require those average point scores of 7 and higher across those grades. The academic is the next one down for A levels. That means that you'll be doing the standard offer of 3 A levels. And again, you can see the choice, and it's a 6.5 average to do those A levels. But please note, you need a grade 7, okay, to do the A level maths. And if you're looking to do further maths, that would require a 7 plus a grade 8 to go and do those further maths course. The professional is our green category down here. That is our vocational course, which is worth 3 A levels. Each one of those is worth 3 A levels, and you can go and get up to a triple distinction star, which comes out the equivalence of 3 A stars at A level. So phenomenally hard grades. Our most successful courses and popular courses are those professional ones, because they open up all of those breadth of university opportunities, as well as apprenticeships as well. We do those in engineering, in health, and in business. And as I say, in previous years, they've sold out effectively within 24 hours. So by doing this process of your data capture, we'll be able to secure those for you. The professional plus is if you're wishing to do one of those courses, so i.e. the engineering or the health or the business, which is worth 3 A levels, but also do an A level on top of that. Now that's a huge ask, because that puts you in the elite category effectively, because you're doing a subject's worth for A levels. Hence why you've got to have a very high 6.5 average or grade 7 if you're doing A level maths. So why would you do that? Well, certain courses, and one to look at is the Dyson Institute, where they only have 30 students a year go to that. That's the Dyson University, called the Dyson Institute. And we've had the real privilege of having a student every year go into that. They have to have the A-level maths to go with it. And JLR is another provider as well who require the A-level maths on top of the BTEC. That said, most of the other universities, including things like the University of Birmingham, would require you just to do the professional, and you would therefore have to get a distinction in your maths within your professional engineering and in your further maths in your professional engineering, as well as doing a maths exam as well. And all that information is available on the UCAS website against the specific courses. So please do pay specific attention to those courses, and we'll share those around when you fill in. And as I said, when you're filling in the form and you're not sure, please do double tick the box then if that's the case. What it does mean, though, on the 25th of August is it's absolutely imperative, really, that you're here to be able to not only get your results and fill that form in, but also to have that meeting. Some of you, and I'm aware, may not be in the country. You may be abroad at a time or on holiday. We need to know that, because otherwise, I'll be very honest, you stand a very high chance of losing your place here at the Academy. So if you already know that you're not going to be around on the Friday or the Saturday following the that data capture form for your interview, it is really important that we have that information together now. So what will happen is you've taken that form, you've submitted it back to us by 2 o'clock on Thursday the 25th. We will then email you out by 4 o'clock that day an appointment for interview on Friday the 26th or Saturday the 27th of August. So you need to be around. Clearly, we live in a Teams environment now, so we can do that online as well if you are away. But if you don't have access to technology or access to the internet, we need to know that, because we need to try and look at what the options are. Otherwise, as I mentioned, you could risk losing your place. We will go through and do that process. As I say, we've also added on, because of the significant high numbers that have applied to us, we've also added on extra classes as well. And I'm really confident that everybody who wants to get a place, who meets those requirements, should be able to offer a place. But it's vital that you get that form and that process done. When you get invited on the Friday or the Saturday, that constitutes your enrolment. You need to bring with you your GCSE results. I will note that on the form that you fill online, you need to take a photograph of your results, but you need to bring the real results with you so we can validate that. So there's no chance, obviously, to bypass that system. You must be validated, and you need to bring your ID with you, being passport or your birth certificate, along with £30, which is your year 12 resource fee. We do card as well for that as well on the day. You'll go through and do the induction process, and at that point, you've got your guaranteed place, including your class and your tutor group, ready for the induction. So you'll leave on that, not just an interview, you will leave as fully enrolled into our sixth form. And that means you're ready then to arrive on Wednesday the 7th of September or Thursday the 8th. And as Ms Bedney Cathy's already explained, there'll be a letter that explains what time to arrive, because different students will come at different times as you're inducted, and your normal lessons will start fully into the Academy on Monday the 12th of September. So hopefully that's given you a really clear procedure, and we'll send out with this this video will also be a letter which outlines those steps all the way through in a long, nice list, along with a copy of the subjects. But if you've got any questions, by all means, please do get in contact via admissions@auea.co.uk or via our number, and we can arrange additional meetings and guidance, support and careers meetings for you. If you're really worried about this and not sure which pathway to take, we can put that support and guidance in place. So what, as I say, on the evening was a chance to meet some of our students. You'll have that chance to do that as part of our process as we move forward, and we're absolutely delighted to be able to speak to you today. And as I say, come back to us, and we look forward to seeing you in the enrolment, and we look forward to seeing you as part of joining us in September. Take care. Thanks very much.